Well, we are officially in an Olympic year, which makes me excited. I hope it does you too. 365 days until the Milano Cortina 2026 Olympic Games. I'm Brittany McLean here with What to Watch, joined by Jesse Campagato, who's the CBC Sports writer of The Buzzer, daily newsletter that keeps you up to date with everything you need to know in the world of sports. And we're going to start today with alpine skiing. I mean, the men have dominated the conversation over their last couple weeks, but it's World Championship week. They're taking place in Saalbach, Austria. Let's start with the program on the men's side. Jesse, what are you most excited about?
Yeah, Britt. So Canada's top two medal contenders at the Alpine Worlds are going to be competing over the next few days. And those guys, of course, are Jack Crawford and Cam Alexander. So first up for them is the men's Super G on Friday, and then they'll be back on the same hill on Sunday for the downhill. So Crawford's the top guy here. He's the reigning men's Super G world champion, so he'll be putting that title on the line. And of course, he's coming off that huge win in the Kitzbühel downhill a couple weeks ago. So that's the most prestigious race on the whole World Cup Tour. So he's got all kinds of momentum coming into the Worlds. And our guy, Devin Haru, who's reporting from the Worlds in Austria, caught up to him recently to ask him how he's feeling going into the big races.
Yeah, I feel good. Worlds is always a event I can feel pretty comfortable in. It's a one-off event. You don't need to worry about the outcome or anything to come afterwards because you just have one chance. And I think going into this year, the skiing feels like it's in a good place, so anything can happen.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be watching Crawford, and we can't forget about Alexander because he won the bronze medal in the downhill at the most recent World Championships. And of course, he joined Crawford on that Kitzbühel podium a couple weeks ago with a bronze. So Alexander's actually been pretty good in the Super G this season as well. He's got a couple top 5 finishes, so we're looking for him to possibly contend right alongside Crawford again. The only thing we're keeping an eye on is Alexander crashed during his downhill training run today. As Devin reported, it didn't look like he was seriously hurt. He got up onto his skis under his own power, but still something to keep an eye on as we head into these big races.
And they're such a dangerous Canadian duo there. I bet the rest of the world has a close eye on them. And for Alexander's sake, he's been bronze very comfortably. So we'll see if he can make his way up the podium. Now onto the women's side, there's some big names like Val Grenier, who's back from injury and ready for action. What's the storyline you're closely watching on the women's side this week at World Championships?
Yeah, so Grenier actually raced the women's Super G this morning. Unfortunately, she DNF'd. It wasn't a crash or anything. She just took a gate really wide and kind of just took herself out of the race after that. So she should be good to go for the downhill on Saturday. So she was the junior downhill world champion way back in 2016. And then in 2019, she had a horrible crash and kind of gave up the downhill for a few years. She finally came back last year, and this was great. She won a bronze medal at a World Cup race at the same venue they're going to use for the Olympics next year. So that was really exciting. But then a couple of days later, she had another crash, unfortunately, that put her back in the hospital and ended her season. Good news is she's back. She's looking healthier, so we're hoping to see her maybe make a run at the podium on Saturday.
Yeah, Jesse, I'll have to admit, when I saw that DNF this morning, I went into panic because I was like, she cannot get hurt again. She's been through so much, and it's one of those athletes you have to root for. So definitely something to watch. And speaking of star power, I mean, the short track speed skaters are doing phenomenal this season so far, and there's a specific name we're watching this weekend.
Yeah, I want everyone to keep an eye on Will Danjanu. He's the Canadian who's having a great season. He's already won 7 gold medals across the first 4 World Cup stops, and he's got a victory at every single distance. So I think he's a good candidate to maybe even win multiple Olympic medals next year in Italy.
Hot take. I hope to see it as well, Jesse. I feel like a broken record, but truly there is so much you want to be tuning into this weekend and into the coming weeks. It's an exciting time in sport. Alpine skiing World Championships will be on every single day starting at 5:30 in the morning. And Ski Cross have a freestyle ski World Cup. That'll be in Italy Saturday and Sunday, also early morning. And with the star Mikhail Kingsbury, he'll be taking to the snow for moguls. They have a freestyle ski World Cup in Deer Valley on Thursday and Saturday evenings. Now make sure you're subscribing to the newsletter that Jesse worked so hard to write by searching The Buzzer CBC online, entering your email to sign up, and you'll get that in your inbox every weekday. Jesse, as always, we appreciate your time, and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you, Britt. Have a good weekend.
You too.